Spooky Lou, WrestleRoni, my mind's blown. This all happened very fast. Ladies and gentlemen, the man needs no introduction. Madman Pondo, how are we doing?
What the fuck is going on? I am driving to Florida right now, and you said you wanted to talk about a few things. I ain't got shit to do but drive, so fuck it. Let's talk. What's up, man?
Fuck yeah. No better thing to do at 3:50 a.m. to talk to Madman Pondo.
Damn
I'm
right.
about it.
Damn right.
Me and you were talking. You got a big tour coming up, Shadow WX. So it's the coolest thing ever in my mind. I can't wait till you come to my neck of the woods so I can see you guys do your thing live. Tell me about first meeting Shadow WX. How you guys first hooked up?
So I was wrestling in Japan from 2000 to 2008, and a lot of those matches was versus Shadow WX. And this last time I went over to Japan, he wrote me and said he wanted to get together, so we ate a meal, and he's asking if he could come to America, and I said, yeah, I mean, you can stay with me, I don't give a shit. And he had me get a hold of a whole bunch of promotions. What he wants to do is he wants to tag at all these places here in America, get a whole bunch of footage, take it back to Japan, and then we're going to tag in Japan. So it's win-win for me. Hell yeah. Let me see if I can remember them all. So July the 11th is a Tuesday. We're in Franklin, Ohio.
Okay.
The 15th, you already know, we're at Pikeville, Tennessee, I think it is.
Okay, gotcha. TCW, isn't it?
TCW.
Okay.
Then 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, we're in Mount Vernon, Illinois. 22, we are in Huntington, Tennessee. 23, 24, 25, 6, 7, 20, 29. We are in New Jersey for XPW.
Nice.
It's my first time at XPW. And of course, it's Shadow's first time at XPW. Then August 4th, we are in Man, West Virginia.
Okay.
Downtown, like little festival thing. And then August 5th, we are in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay.
And then, I left one out. I think we're doing PWR, where they had the RV and the car drove through the shit and all that.
Okay. Yeah.
That's July 30th. Excuse me. And then August 12th, we have the King of the Hill tournament. We're not in the tournament. We're a tag versus the Midwest Scum. But basically, since he's been coming, since he found out that he was coming over here, he really doesn't talk much about wrestling. He wants to go to Major League Baseball games.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and get him to the Reds. I'm going to try and get him to the Cardinals. And with any luck, maybe the Cubs. But, hell, it's going to be his trip, man. So I'm down to help him wherever,
That's awesome, and that's right up your alley. I see you at the baseball games all the time, so I figure you guys are going to have a great time.
Yeah, big Yankee fan. And right there in Louisville, Kentucky, right there where I live, the Louisville Bats is like the developmental for the Cincinnati Reds. So, and they're cheap games, but it's still a baseball game. So, yeah, I'm gonna get him just as many as I can.
And hey, also props on the memory. My memory's not that damn good. You just named off a lot of dates and towns there.
Well, don't take that for granted. Like if it was finding my keys, I can't do shit. But baseball games and wrestling matches, I'm pretty good at.
And I was going to say, you're still performing at a very high level. Anytime I see you, it's still the same old Pondo I've always seen. How do you do it?
Ah, I'd say stupidity.
Okay.
Stupidity's helped me out a bunch, but it's not like so. I get to these shows and these wrestlers are like, "Hey man, I saw you do this on this video. Can we do that?" And I just gotta disappoint them. I'm like, I was 20 when I did
Right.
that. June 24th, what, 4 days ago, I turned 54.
Happy
You know,
birthday.
oh, thank you, man. I can't do it like I used to. But I can do what I can do. So that's what I've been doing here lately. But it just goes to show you that I'm 54, and just like you said, I'm still getting booked all across everywhere. Worked for all the major indies. I mean, not major. I did the GCW, the ICW, the RPW, the Horror Slam, the Anafight Underground. Any place that does death matches, they they still let me come in and do my thing. So until they stop, I'm gonna keep on going. I'm not gonna stop doing death matches until death matches stop doing me.
Hell yeah. I love it, man. I
I'm
do.
on my I'm on my way to Florida. I am the Atomic Legacy Wrestling Hardcore Champ. I beat Tony DeVito, and
Okay.
now I'm wrestling a guy named Vertigo, and then the next one I'm wrestling I think Pitbull Gary Wolf.
Nice.
But the cool thing is, right there in Orlando, uh, it will be October by then, and I will get to go to Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights again.
Oh, okay. And you're a horror nut like myself.
Dude, I'm a bigger horror movie fan than I ever was a wrestling fan.
I get it.
People come to my room all the time thinking they're going to see all this wrestling memorabilia, and there's like horror movie shit everywhere. But I do own every one of every LJN character. The rubber guys that
Mm-hmm.
WWE first put out.
Uh-huh.
I own one of those, each one of those, and then a whole bunch of custom ones.
Okay. So yeah, the love's there for professional wrestling, of course. You're and
Yeah, but if here's the thing, guys think that they're going to get my attention by wanting to talk wrestling, and that's not how you do it. But if you say, "Oh, did you see that Chucky series? Hey, Terrifier got their budget for part 3." I'm in your face. I'm like, hell yeah, let's talk this shit.
okay. Okay, let me throw a name at you and let's see your opinion. My
All right.
dude, always been my dude since my teenage years. Lucio Fulci. You a Fulci fan?
You know what? Yes, but I I get a bunch of Fulci and Argento movies mixed up all the time
I get it.
because, in my opinion, that they might as well have been the same director. But thank God for Dario Argento for having Aja Argento, because that's one hot motherfucker right there. I don't care
Thank
who you
you.
are.
Oh man, she gets me in trouble all the time.
Hell yeah, she's awesome.
My wife gets on me and says, "What kind of sick director directs his kid naked all the time?" I'm like, "Whatever."
And raped for Christ's sakes.
No doubt. His last one that they put out on Shutter last year was a wild one too. He's still killing it too.
I don't know that. I'm not big on art films, and that was more like an art film to me. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this god awful Skidamarink.
Right.
Jesus Christ. Uh, I don't like movies that you have to think about. With Skinamarink, there is no thinking about. It's just a piece of shit. I made Skinamarink 2 in 19 seconds just by showing places of my apartment and putting some kids whispering.
Okay.
I mean, that was easy. That was easy. But the thing about it is, any movie that I have to think about, I am not a big fan of. Like, I don't have to think about Star Wars. I know what's going on. I don't have to think about Mad Max. I know what's going on. Hereditary? Fuck that shit. Lords of Salem? Eat my ass. Fucking Donnie Darko, this new movie that came out, Men. Just you get the feeling what I'm talking about. That art film horse shit. I hate that crap.
I feel it. I'm like you. I'm very to the point. Just go kill some people. Go
Damn right.
get from the beginning to the end. You're heading to Florida. We're talking horror classics. One that
That's
comes to
it, man.
what was it called down there? Killing Spree. The first film
Oh
was
yeah.
Truth or Dare. You know about Killing Spree?
Of course I know about Killing Spree. The guy who he thought his wife was cheating on him or something, and
Yep.
he starts killing people. Yeah,
One of my
that's one of
all-time
them.
favorites.
Really, that's one of those obscure, very low budget, but probably has made more money than the budget ever thought about.
Mm-hmm.
They probably spent more money on the DVD. One of those kinds. But dude, I watch movies. Like people often like, I don't want to go see that remake. I don't give a fuck. I watch movies, man. Right now, I have this thing called the Regal Unlimited for $19. I can go and see as many movies as I want from open to close, and shit, man. It's like a dream come true to me because hell, I just went and saw. Well, they do these Mystery Monday movies of movies that haven't came out yet. And
Oh.
this one was a movie called Theater Camp.
Okay.
Not my cup of tea, but I went and watched No Hard Feelings of Jennifer Lawrence,
Mm-hmm.
new comedy. That's fucking hilarious. And I will say, when Terrifier 2 came out, I went 6 times with this Regal Unlimited pass. So,
Hell yeah. Such a good movie.
Oh,
That's probably like my favorite modern one.
I also, do you own Terrifier 2 by any chance?
I do not.
Okay. Next time you watch Terrifier 2, after the Chris Jericho special cutscene,
Mm-hmm.
keep watching until it says Indigo Friends or special thanks to or something like that. Keep looking on the right and follow it down alphabetical order, and you will see Kevin Canady, Canady. That's me, motherfucker.
Hell yeah. Look at you go. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to name drop for a second since you did there. That's what we do.
Go ahead.
I recently made it into some Trauma film credits just for being
Oh,
me.
wow.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So that was kind of a dream come true. I didn't do shit and got a special thanks in there.
That's awesome.
They have a great
Trauma is
streaming
one of
service.
those acquired taste.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks to Trauma, my favorite horror movie of all time is Mother's Day.
Hell yeah.
And then I'm a big Toxic Avenger fan.
Same.
Sergeant Kabuki Man, kinda, but not like Toxic Avenger.
Right.
And those movies are acquired taste, but every once in a while they'll come out with something like Cannibal the Musical or
Yeah.
Poultry Guys, just
Mm-hmm.
shit like that. I mean, yeah, and the cool thing about them is you can go to trauma.com and watch everything that they put out.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And they're still putting out stuff too. God bless Lloyd Kaufman.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, doing things his way. Kind of similar to you. You've always done things your way, and it seems like you're in
Every
a pretty
time.
good place.
Not too bad.
Not
I
too,
mean, I got the same anxiety everybody else does, but I just hide mine better than some people and smile and keep on going.
and accept requests for a podcast at 3 a.m. You say, let's
I
go.
do. I do. Let's do it.
You're the fucking man. Hell yeah. Let me bring this up to you. Your memory seems good, so I think you might remember this. Shoot, it was probably 10, maybe 15 years ago. Clarksburg, West Virginia, Summit Park Fire Department. Uh,
I do. I remember that.
okay, do you remember the promo you cut that night and how the firefighters loved you for it?
I do.
Do you care to share your
So,
side of the story?
so I'm just me, and I'm cutting a promo, and So somebody told me that the building that we was in wasn't the normal fire department because there's boats and like big trucks and shit all in there, but not too many fire trucks. And I'm like, what kind of firehouse is this? Well, that fire department burnt down their other firehouse. Okay? Don't tell me shit like that and not expect me to talk about it. Now, now there's also all types of cats. I mean, cats everywhere. Therefore, there's all types of cat shit everywhere. So I get the microphone and I start talking about how dumb the fireman was. They burnt down their own firehouse. And then I said, and if cat shit's flammable, this whole place is gonna go up because there's fucking cats everywhere. You know. Next thing I know, I don't know these people, but there's some dude trying to get in the ring, and I'm like, come on, motherfucker, come on, jump in there. And the ring announcer comes over and says, that's the guy that owns the building. I'm like, oh shit. So I kept my mouth shut, didn't say no more. But the guy made me apologize afterwards, and I'm not big on doing that. But I did it because I didn't want to ruin TJ and them guys, you know. So yeah,
Yeah.
had a good time though. I mean, gave me a story to tell for the rest of my life.
Hey, it's hilarious. I was also told that there was another firefighter that was thinking he was going to step in the ring with you, and he was told by another wrestler, yo, you're not a trained professional. I promise you this guy is. You must not have seen his footage. You might want to think about what you're doing. And the guy did think about what he was doing. He didn't get in that damn ring.
You know what? It might have been the same guy. I don't know, but
You had a few mad at you. I
some
was there.
yeah, some dude did try to get in the ring, and I didn't know who he was. I just thought it was a normal fan, so I'm like challenging him, come on, come on, and come to find out, he was the fire chief.
I'm sure you've had more incidents similar to that. Like, can you tell me about any other stories similar to that one?
I mean, you know, I mean, my so you can tell just by this interview. If I got something to say, I'm going to say it. You know.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, as long as you sit there and keep your mouth shut, I don't make you part of the show. But if you stand up or if you're yelling shit, action, motherfucker, you're part of the show right now. And you know, I will find every little detail that's wrong with you. If you have a wart on your face, if you have terrible teeth, if you have a fucking nose hair, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna talk about it and make you mad to where the show, you know, gets a little exciting and people make noise, and that's what it's all about.
I dig it. Is that something that's a part of you, or is that something that kind of been passed down to you from another generation?
I would say that's even in school, even when I was in school, which you know, now with all the school shootings and everything, thank God that shit wasn't a thing back then.
Right.
So so I apologize to every person back in the day that I that my wrath of my mouth that I couldn't keep shut. But yeah, man, like even in school, I was always that. Like somebody say something, I was on it. I was good at it. So it kept me from getting beat up in high school, being funny, but using other people uh, for my comedy sometime was probably not the best decision, and I realize that now. But when you're in school, you don't think about that shit. You know, you just. I mean, I never hit anybody. I never. Oh, some semi just fucking honked at me because I'm on my phone.
Fuck him.
Yeah, he's behind me, so you'll never find me.
I appreciate the hell out of you, man. Thank you for
Ah,
that.
no problem. No problem.
You're heading to XPW. They're a very controversial promotion recently. Uh, what are we expecting going into this bad boy?
Couldn't tell you, man. Like, a lot of my friends are there though, so
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't have no trouble. And basically, even if I was gonna have trouble, I'd still go. You know,
Hell yeah.
I've never been one not to face whatever it is that's coming at me. But you know, XPW can't be much different than some past shit that I've gotten into. So I'm
For,
ready to go.
for sure. That's a good way of putting it. Definitely. You've been through worse, I'm sure.
That's it.
There's a lot of division right now in the deathmatch community. You got your ICW people, you got your XPW people. What the hell's going on with the fans? Hell, the ring announcers are fighting the promoters. What do you think's going on?
You know, and that's why I work for all of them because I keep my mouth shut.
Right on.
Uh, I, I don't. I stay out of the politics.
Good.
Brett Lydell, um, Rob Black. You know, I don't care if he calls me or not. You know, just I, I keep my mouth shut. So an interesting conversation that me and Necro had. Like he wanted to put one of them red hats on me over in Japan, or if we was doing a photo shoot, he wanted me to hold one end of the Trump flag, and he has trouble getting booked for a reason, you know.
Okay.
And I explained to them, hey, look, I might be the Trump supporter in the world.
Of all times.
Either it's Richard Nixon supporter in the world, but you will never know it because I don't put that shit out on Facebook. That way, I don't upset anybody, and I keep getting booked. You know, I don't share my views. So, yeah, that's kind of where I go with that.
I dig it. I dig it. I don't think there's any room for politics in wrestling, man. Just it's about the wrestling, you know. This But hey, if you're doing it to get some heat, I understand that too. So
Oh, I love what Necro and Jasmine and Hillbilly and Danny are doing. I love that shit. I think that's fucking hilarious that Necro is being a Trump supporter and walks out that curtain, and everybody is singing that song, that America song. You know, I mean, it just shows that you know what. It just shows that wrestling fans are. I tell you what, my last GCW show,
mm-hmm.
they sent me out to Billy Corgan's Bullets with Butterfly Wings,
Uh-huh.
or what people thinks the name of the song is, The World is a Vampire.
Right.
And after I got out there and the music shut off, the fans kept singing it. and it gave me a pretty good energy inside. I thought that was awesome. Chris Jericho, when he gets done singing his song, they just keep on going. I get what he feels now. So yeah, I like how they sung the rest of that song, and I'm sure it gets Necro feeling just as good as I did after that.
Hell yeah. You'd mentioned how that made you feel, good moment, got the blood pumping. It's what
Yeah,
wrestling's all about. Give me a few
that's
other
it.
examples of times that you felt like $1,000,000. I'm sure there's plenty of them, but give me like your top three.
Top three. One, after I got done wrestling Terry Funk for the JCW belt and won, I beat Terry Funk, and he is a hero, a fucking hero.
For sure.
Two, back in the day, I had a videotape of Mr. Danger Masanaga versus Mr. Pogo compilation tape,
Hell yeah.
and I wore that son of a bitch out. I watched it so much. But now I am on first name basis with Mr. Danger, and I was on Mr. Pogo before he, rest in peace, died. But I mean, what kind of heroes have I impressed that Masanaga gave me his wristbands and told me to call myself the American Danger Man, and Mr. Pogo always wanted me to come and work for his company. So that's number two. Number three, I'm just a small town kid from Flora, Illinois,
Mm-hmm.
and population 5,000. Who would have ever thought that I would do a speech in between the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument where presidents and celebrities out the ass have done a speech? I did a speech there. So that's the three that come to mind. I mean, looking out while I was doing the speech is the same water where Forrest Gump jumped in and was yelling, Jenny! I
Right.
mean, I'm the fucking man.
Yes, you are. You are, and you mentioned the tapes. I'm so glad you brought that up because that brings Shadow WX back up. Back in my
Yes.
day, me and my friend Billy, who's a pro wrestler now, we were watching Shadow WX against Hanma with the Big Japan matches.
Yeah, Homa, yeah.
Oh man, and yeah, and now here he is coming to the states, and I'm making
That's it.
sure I get out to see you guys one way or the other.
Hell yeah. What show are you coming to?
I'm hoping. Now, I'm told you guys are going to be in Morgantown. I might as well ask you right here, right now.
No, we're
No?
not. We're
See?
not.
People bullshit me.
That guy asked me about it. It's July 21st, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're in Mount Vernon, Illinois.
Well, we cleared that shit up. Okay, you're going to
That
XVW?
guy did ask me, and I said, he said, let me get back to you, but I couldn't hold dates because Shadow's flying over here, so I had to. The first guy who said, hey, how about July 21st? I said yes. And then later on, that guy you're talking about got a hold of me and said, yeah, we're good for July 21st. I'm like, I'm already booked.
Yep.
We're already booked. So yeah, but it was talked about. Just it didn't work out.
All right. Well, looks like we're going to have to go up to Ohio to XVW and check you guys out.
Well, to New Jersey.
Now, I did see a flyer with you guys on an XVW flyer in Ohio.
In Ohio.
Yeah. They got y'all on a flyer.
What date is that?
I'm not sure. I'll message you later. I'll look it up and send you the flyer, and you can confirm or deny for me.
As far as I know, XPW is July 29th in New Jersey.
Oh, okay. It's XVW. V is in Victor.
And what date?
That I don't know at the moment. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get around to that. Me and you personally. That's fine.
Oh, XBW. I know what that is. Is that on a Tuesday? It's a Tuesday, right?
I think they do a lot of their shows on Tuesdays.
Yeah, that's Tom McLean's. That's The Franklin, Ohio one. Yeah, we will be there on a Tuesday.
Hell yeah, cool. And they got a pretty cool product. I like what they do. They're on public access out of Ohio. Is how I found them. So pretty cool
Oh, okay.
stuff. Speaking of which, you had a public access show back in the day. I'm waiting on somebody to send me some DVDs of that. Owen, come on now. Uh, what can you tell the folks about having your own little public access TV show back in the day?
So it was called Skull Talk. It seems like it was one of the best ideas I ever had, but sometimes it was the worst idea I ever had because I the FCAA or whatever the hell Elemental P,
Mm-hmm.
it was illegal for them to go over your videotape before it made it on public access.
Okay.
So I would find chicks that was willing to get naked and sit on my lap and introduce wrestling shows. So yeah, man. And here's the thing: there was 3 rules. You couldn't advertise. You couldn't advertise anything, but you could put your email address on there, which I did.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't have penis, which I wouldn't want penis on my show anyway.
Right.
And you couldn't have penetration.
Okay.
So the day that Skull Talk got canceled, I had a girl using a vibrator on herself, and while I'm trying to introduce a match, she's being real loud, and I'm like, "Shut up, bitch!" And then I introduce the match, and then I look over, and I'm like, "Okay, now go ahead." So that got them calling me saying, "Hey, we're sorry, but we can't have your show on anymore." Well, by then, man, what would take only 15 minutes would take an hour and a half because these girls, oh, let me smoke a cigarette. Oh, I got a phone call. Let me fix my hair. All this shit that just get naked and let me do this 15-minute thing. But so really, I was already kind of tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
So when they told me, hey, your show got canceled, it didn't really bother me that bad. But then maybe a month or 2 after that, they called me back and said, hey, is there any way that you could start doing episodes again? Because people was buying local cable to get public access. And by then I was done with it. I said, you guys have all the videotapes, just play reruns, and
Mm-hmm.
and they did. They did.
Wow. Amazing. Gotta love public access. Wow.
That's it.
Damn.
I'll tell you another fucked up thing about it. They
Please
put
do.
me in between 2 religious shows,
Oh, no
two
shit.
two TV evangelists like preachers, and because my email address was a part of was at the bottom of it every once in a while, one of those preachers would write after every episode, tell me how fast I'm going to hell and all this and one day I was dropping my videotape off at the studio, and as I was going out, there was a guy. As I was coming in, there was a guy going out, and it was that guy.
Uh-oh.
It was that preacher guy. Said nothing to me, but by the time I got home, he had a hell of a. Hey, I saw you. I could tell I could feel your sin as I was walking out the door. All that shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, Skull Talk was fun, but very stressful.
I'm sure. I
Yeah.
can only imagine some of the emails they got in response. So.
That's it.
You had mentioned JCW winning the title off Terry Funk. I want to hear about Terry Funk too, but we all know ICP, Violent J, the whole crew, very instrumental in your career. What can you tell me
That's
about
it.
those guys?
I'll tell you that this company that I'm going town for, ALW, the last show, Violent J managed me for them. So, and coming up July 5th to July 8th will be the 23rd Gathering of the Juggalos, which will also be Madman Pondo's 23rd Gathering of the Juggalos. I've been to every damn one of them. Me and Joe was just sitting down talking. I've been with them for 26 years.
Wow.
Can you imagine the shit that I've seen over the years?
I can't. That makes me feel old because I've been down since day one, since the first JCW tape came out, by God. Man, how did you hook up with those guys? Was it through the backyard game or was it before that?
It was before that. Me and this piece of shit that I don't mention anymore.
Fair enough.
We was wrestling in Michigan, and there was these two guys.
Come on, internet. We lost you for a moment. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
How about now?
Yeah, we're good now, buddy.
We good?
Yes, sir.
So Sabu was sitting out in the crowd. He hated us. Well, he hated piece of shit for sure.
Okay.
And then these two guys, the Sewer Dweller and Hector Hatchet, wrestled.
Mm-hmm.
And come to find out it was ICP. Well, I didn't know what an ICP was.
Okay.
And these two guys with dreadlocks was like, oh man, that was great. We loved your match. And the first Stranglemania videotape had pictures of Ian and Axel on it that they didn't clear. They just put those pictures on there. So piece of shit was already pissing them off, asking for money, and all this horse shit. Well, they were so impressed with that match, they came over to me. And, of course, they're like, hey, we're going to be big someday. Our wrestling big someday. We quit in the wrestling business, so I was just like, all right, let me know. Mm-hmm. So then I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, walking around, and I see kids wearing their T-shirts. I'm like, oh my God, that's those guys.
Okay.
So then they ran a show called Stranglemania Live back in '97, and they got a hold of a guy named Dan Curtis and said, find us Madman Pondo.
Hell yeah.
And I've been working for him ever since.
Yeah, seems like a very healthy relationship. You guys seem to get along well.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But seems like everybody's making money at least, right?
I'm doing all right.
Doing all right. Hell yeah. Couldn't be happier for you. Well, let's take it back to Terry Funk, man. What can you tell me about Terry Funk?
Man, the day of that match, I don't get nervous. My first match, I wasn't nervous. My mom will tell you that I was a big problem back in the day because I was a ham, man. Like, I never met a stranger and all that type of shit. Well, when I was wrestling Terry Funk, I was on pins and needles, and then he just sat down with me and said, "Hey, let's do this, let's do that," and it was great. I loved every minute of it. One thing he did do, he said, "Now, Pondo, when we're out there next to the kids, let's really punch each other. That way, they know we're serious." And I'm like, "All right." So sure enough, he throws me over the guardrail. We're out there near the kids, and he punches me in my eye so hard it gave me the purple spots for a second.
Okay.
But then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to hit him too. I turn around and that old son of a bitch is going back over the guardrail. It's like, he got me. But yeah, man, Terry Funk will always be Terry Funk, and they're in what was the name of this town? Milton. Milton, Indiana, he gave me the Desperado song.
Okay.
He didn't tell me he was going to do it. He gave me the Desperado song. It's on film, so it's not like I'm making this up. But I just can't bring myself to walk out to Terry Funk's song. That's Terry Funk's song. So, but if I want to, Terry Funk gave it to me.
Wow, I get it though, man. That's sacred stuff. So he must have been impressed, to say the least.
That's it. That's
That's
it.
that's awesome, man. Tell me what was going through your mind your first trip to Japan. I'm sure that was a dream of yours. How'd that go for you?
So, as a child, I was a big Godzilla fan.
Hell yeah,
Watch
same.
Godzilla at all?
Oh, believe me.
Okay. So Mothra had these two little Asian fairies. You remember them? That they would sing the song.
Mothra,
Yeah,
Mothra.
Mothra, Mothra, right. So I just thought those two little fairies was fucking beautiful.
For sure.
So I always told myself, hey, I want to go to Japan where they are. I mean, I was just a kid, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So then later on, so let me back up. So there's so many guys out there that will say shit like, nah, I never wanted WWE. I never wanted WWF. Knowing damn well they did, but just WWE and WWF didn't want them,
Right
right?
on.
Well, WWE, WWF never wanted me either, but they were never my dream, never once. My dream was always Japan,
Mm-hmm.
which September I'm going on my 45th trip to Japan.
Hell yeah.
So I was wrestling Abdullah the Butcher in Overland, Missouri for a company called MRW run by Big Ben and Mike Rogers. And after the match, Abdullah was so happy with it. He told me, he said, champ, I'm getting ready to go to Japan. When I get back, have a videotape at my restaurant, and the next time I go to Japan, I'll take it with me. I was so excited I couldn't do it, man. I went home, didn't sleep, hooked up two VCRs, made a videotape, sent it directly to his restaurant overnight.
Mm-hmm.
It was there in 2 days. Abdullah calls me on the phone and says, "Man, champ, you really want to go to Japan, don't you?" I said, "Yes, sir, I do." So not only did I go on my first trip, I was Abdullah's boy.
Hell yeah.
So you can imagine how I don't know. I mean, it didn't take him long to find out I was just a jack off, but I mean, when I first got there, I was Abdullah's boy. You can imagine, you know, how special that was.
For sure. And I've even seen handheld footage, just behind the scenes footage of you and Abdullah in over on tours in Japan. It looks like you guys were having a blast.
Oh yeah, I've wrestled Abdullah. I don't know how. Let's back up. I have took that fucking elbow off of Abdullah. I don't know how many times.
How's Abdullah the Butcher doing nowadays? Do you know?
I mean, his age is up there. He's in a chair,
Mm-hmm.
but when I see him on Facebook Live, his spirits are high. He's doing all right.
Good, good. Do you watch much indie wrestling nowadays, or?
I don't. I hate it. I hate wrestling.
Okay.
I would rather focus my enjoyment on horror movies and shit like that. Now I do so skimming through Facebook if there's a deathmatch spot or something really fucking cool,
Mm-hmm.
I will stop and watch that. But to watch a whole pay per view or back when I was with Sarah Logan,
Mm-hmm.
I had to sit there and watch the whole WWE shows, and I was in hell the whole time. You know, I mean, not my cup of tea. So, but now that I'm not with her, now that she broke my heart and left me, back in the day.
Mm.
Now I don't have to worry about them. I don't have to watch them. My friends like going to WWE live events, so when they come to town, I'll get a hold of some of my friends that work there, and I'll get us tickets. And I enjoy my time hanging out with my friends, so I don't mind doing it. But if it was just me and I was going by myself, I wouldn't be going to a WWE show.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's definitely. It sounds like you. It makes sense. Was there ever a time that you was watching the indie scene to see what was going on?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody had to, or you know, yeah. I mean, I I've been watching wrestling since a very very young age. So when when a company had a main event of Abdullah versus Bruiser Brody in Centralia, Illinois, I was there.
Hell yeah.
When USWA in my hometown had Macho Man versus Ox Baker, I was there.
Nice.
I mean, yeah, I've always, if there was a wrestling show around, I would go. And then when wrestling started getting more more companies, I still went. But now, this Saturday, Kevin Kennedy was 54, but Madman Pondo was 34.
Wow.
So you can imagine how much wrestling that I've seen in my life, and I don't know, just I'm not really big on it anymore. I mean, like I said, if there's a clip on Facebook, if I'm skimming through, I will watch it. The last thing that I remember that really attracted my attention at WWE when the Miz had Damian Sandow and he was the Miz's
His stunt
stunt
double.
double, and whatever Miz did, he did. If Miz got thrown over the top rope, he would back the guy who threw him over, and then he would go. I loved that shit. I thought that shit was funny as hell.
Hell yeah. Okay, you are the perfect guest for this question. It's something I ask a lot of people, but I think you're going to be the man for this question. You've been in the business forever. You've been on the independent scene, and that's what this show's about, the independent scene. Tell me the changes you've seen, the good changes, the bad, the ugly, everything in between. What have you seen happen over the years?
So back in the day when I got into wrestling, number one, it was really hard to find a school.
Okay.
Nowadays, if somebody buys a ring, they can start a school.
Right.
That just wasn't happening back then. Back in the day, it was very hard to find other shows other than the ones in your area.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's probably 5 companies running in every state. Don't you agree to that? There's
Oh,
probably
yeah.
5. But locker rooms are way different. Like I've seen guys cry over losing their belt. I've seen guys not want to go under and all this horse shit. If they would have done that back then, shit, they wouldn't have teeth. I mean, people back then just didn't put up with that crap.
Okay.
With that being said, I also think that if you don't evolve with pro wrestling, you might as well get out of pro wrestling
Yep.
because it is what it is. So I have tried my best to evolve with it as much as I can, and I think I'm doing an okay job with that.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. And you were evolving, I mean, years ago, man. You were going right along with the scene. You definitely know what's going on. You've got a mind for this if anybody does, or you still wouldn't be doing your thing at such a
That's
high
it.
level. Trying to think where we go from here, man. Like, it still blows my mind. This was very short notice. I appreciate the hell out of you.
I ain't got a damn thing to do but drive and piss off semi-drivers as I'm walking through.
Oh man, I tell you who's been on my mind a lot lately. What can you tell me about Tracy Smothers?
What can I not tell you about Tracy? Oh, it pisses me off now that he's not gone. All these guys that I know Tracy didn't have much to do with, and they'll sit around and go, "Man, I miss Tracy," and shit like that. But hey, I mean, it's all keeping his name alive. So I keep my mouth shut about it. But Tracy Smothers would tell people I was his favorite wrestler just because he would say shit like, "The concrete's afraid of Madman Pondo,"
Hell yeah.
you know, shit like that. I can't tell you how many times I wrestled Tracy, and you can't wrestle that man without learning something each time.
Yeah.
So he's one of those guys that I wish. I mean, he had his fuck. What was his team with the Armstrong?
All the boys. Oh shoot. I
Not the
forgot.
boys.
No, no, I know it's not the boys. Southern boys, was that it? Southern something.
I can't remember, but he had that, and of course he was a USWA star.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he would have. I wish he would have gotten, better props, better respect in this business at a higher level. But it's just the way shit goes, man. But Tracy is missed by many, many people,
Right on.
and I just when I was there for the finals, I mean, he would come to shows, and his hair was gone, and he was skinny, but to to talk to him, you wouldn't know he was in pain. You wouldn't know his hair was gone. You wouldn't know he's losing weight because he was always just generally happy and always talked to the boys. And one thing about Tracy, he would be sitting at that curtain watching matches,
Mm-hmm.
and as dudes came back, he would tell them, "Hey, I don't know it all. I don't know it all in this business, but," and he would tell them his insight on what he saw was wrong, and I can't see him being wrong about that. So, but I always had a lot of respect for him for always trying to help the boys out and get better.
No doubt. Yeah, you hear a lot of that, so he must have been doing a lot of. You hear it a lot of it. When
Right?
I came along Tracy Smothers late. It wasn't until the FBI and ECW, and I was super impressed then, seeing him do the dance and giving people hell. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. I think I was 14 years old, so I looked up the back catalog and the Southern stuff, and so good, so good. What
It's
about on the other end of the spectrum? Another guy that you bumped into a little bit back in the day that's kind of making the rounds lately. What's your opinion on CM Punk nowadays?
so CM Punk is CM Punk. If if you can't get along with CM Punk, then you might as well just go the other way because he's not going to change. He's the same guy I knew back then. He's that same guy now, but uh, he's a draw. That's all there is to it.
Right.
People want to see. I mean, look when he left WWE, how many times that man was nowhere near the business, but people was chanting his name.
Right.
So love him or hate him, he's always going to be CM Punk. So there you go.
Yep. Okay. Hell, that's a hell of an answer. You mentioned you grew up in USWA territory, and I'm a big fan of old school USWA. How do you think that influenced your career?
A lot. Like me walking out and my face all scrunched up and shit. That's sheep herders.
Okay.
Um, uh, yeah, I mean that was that edgy shit that always got me going more than going to a WWE show or a WCW show.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there was that. There was Wrestling at the Chase out of St. Louis that had a lot of Bruiser Brody, a lot of Harley Race, a lot of Andre the Giant. There was ICW, Angelo Popo's ICW, that had a lot of Macho Man and Leapin' Lanny and Crusher Broomfield, who became One Man Gang later, and Pistol Pez Watley. And there was a team called the Devil's Duo, Doug Vines and John Sword, with their manager Izzy Slapowitz, who would bring a Bible to the ring, and shit like that just wasn't flying back then, and so it was never. Oh, I would go to those WWE and WCW shows and enjoy myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was at the first night of the Skywalkers in Chicago.
Nice.
I was at Super Class 3 with Lawler versus Kerry Von Erich. I mean, I made my fair share of trips and went to some memorable movies, memorable shows. The problem is, over the years, I can't remember who was on what show and all that shit. Like, so, but I will tell you this: there was a company called Windy City Wrestling,
Okay.
ran by Sam DeCiro, and he would put matches together that I loved. Like he put Abdullah the Butcher versus this guy Frank the Tank, and Abdullah just chewed this guy apart. He put Sergeant Slaughter versus Colonel De Beers in a boot camp match. He put Bruiser Brody versus John Sword, the Barbarian,
Okay.
John Nord. He he did the first Bam Bam Terry Gordy versus Bam Bam Bigelow match for the Bam Bam name, which of course they fought to the back where they both kept their name. And Polly Dangerously was there, the Midnight Express was there, and Eddie Gilbert was there. And, for some reason, every time Windy City Wrestling would have a show, I was there. I would talk anybody into taking me to that shit.
I'm gonna have to check some more of their stuff out on YouTube because I know who you're talking about, but it sounds like that was some awesome stuff.
It was.
Damn right. I saw some recent photos on social media with you and Hulk Hogan. I said Madman Pondo and Hulk Hogan. What's the relationship like with the Hulkster? How'd that come about?
No relationship whatsoever. Just wrestling wouldn't be. I wanted to meet Hulk Hogan where I could tell him, in my own words, that wrestling wouldn't be wrestling like it is today if it was not for that man.
Fair
I
enough.
don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what anybody says. And yeah, he's got a lot of problems, and don't we all?
Right.
But you got to just realize he was professional wrestling back in the day.
Yep.
So I wanted to meet him, but I didn't want to pay $300 to meet him.
Okay.
So on Mondays at Hogan's Hangout, Nick Hogan does karaoke, and Hulk Hogan shows up for all of those.
Okay.
Well, you're not allowed to get pictures with them, but I'm good friends with Bushwhacker Luke.
Okay.
So I took a Bushwhacker with me. I didn't have to pay $300, and got my picture with Hulk Hogan, which you saw on my Facebook. So arriving there, I didn't expect. So Nick Hogan sees Luke, comes out, says, "Hey Luke, how's it going?" And Luke says, "Hey, this is my buddy Pondo." And of course it's loud in there, and Luke's hard to understand every once in a while anyway. So Nick leaned into me. He goes, "I'm sorry, what was your name?" And I said, Pondo. And Nick looks at me, he goes, as a Madman Pondo? And I said, yeah. And he just backs up and he goes, you are one sick motherfucker. I love it. I've watched your clip, and Nick Hogan's like putting me over. I was like, holy shit. So then, because I was with Luke, we had reserved seats ringside, not ringside, but our chairs were here and the stage was right in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
And Hulk Hogan shows up, and of course he's doing his spiel to the crowd, and he looks down and he says, and I want everybody to know that Bushwhacker Luke's in the house, and the whole place cheered. And about that time, Nick whispered something to Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan looks down and he goes, and also we got Madman Pondo. Hulk Hogan said my name over the fucking microphone. Can you imagine how many sold out arenas it's been, how many people wanted to meet him, but he's saying my name on the microphone? I was so impressed. So then later on, just out of the blue, he said, hey, Madman Pondo, how come you never got in the ring and beat me up? Everybody else did. Just so surreal. The whole experience was so surreal. So then after it, I'm taking Luke home, and so I got to meet Hulk Hogan. I got my picture with Hulk Hogan, and got to listen to sheep herder stories all the way to Luke's house. I'm the one that drove him home where I could ask him about the sheep herders, and wow. Yeah, that was a hell of a night for me right there.
That's awesome. That is, and to tell you, it is what it is, man. What Hulk Hogan is to you, believe it or not, you're that way to a lot of people. You talk about surreal. Did I think tonight that I'd be talking to Madman Pondo? You've been doing it at such a high level for so long. People, it's not an overstatement to say you're a god of deathmatch wrestling.
Oh my God.
I said
it. I'm just a jack off that's been around too long, man.
Not too long. Not too long, believe me. We'll take you as long as you can do it, man. Like,
all right,
good.
Hang
stuff.
with me. Hang with me. I'll see how long I can go.
Fair enough. Fair enough. To the folks listening, get out and see him and Shadow WX in the States while you have the opportunity. It's going to be well worth your $20, your $10, whatever it is, man. Like, this is a once in a lifetime thing. And then you say you're going back to Japan with Shadow, right?
Not with Shadow, with Big Japan. I'm going back in September.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Do we know anything that's coming up in Big Japan? Do you know any of the matches yet or anything?
I don't.
Gotcha.
Hell, I never do until I get over there.
And it doesn't matter, right?
It doesn't matter. That's right.
Hell yeah. Madman Pondo, I've had you for an hour. I cannot thank you enough. The invite's there for the future, man. Anytime you're bored and got a long drive, fucking feel free to call me. If I'm asleep, we'll answer it and we'll do. Well, I'll just talk to you, but we can record it and do a podcast as well. Before I let you go ahead.
No, what was you getting right to say?
Well, I was going to say before I let you go, if you have any crazy road stories, any words of inspiration, anything you want to sell, I don't care, man. You go for as long as you want to go.
Well, funny you saying that. So, I wrote a book. It's called Memoirs of a Madman. I haven't gotten any bad reviews. Everybody says they laugh out loud at a lot of the stories. 248 pages of pictures and stories of my life. I put a lot into it. If you want to read the book, it's Amazon.com. But if you want an autographed copy, go to EatSleepWrestle.com. And then if you bring that book to one of my matches, I will give it the bloody thumbprint on the first page.
Hell yeah.
And then someday, just like Jurassic Park, when there is no Madman Pondo, you can take that DNA and you can make me. So do that. And if you're looking for a Madman Pondo t-shirt, or hell, any of your favorite deathmatch stars, Corey Higdon, started a web page for Deathmatch workers merchandise, and the web page is there's a semi flashing his brights at me. He doesn't like I got my phone up. His web page is deathmatchworldwide.com.
Mm-hmm.
Go check out the Deathmatch t-shirts and buy a couple. Tell Corey I sent you. He won't give you nothing cheaper, but it make me look better.
Fair enough. I dig it. I seriously hope to have you back on in the future because I know we've just scratched the surface. I just threw questions at you that came off the top of my head, so I only hope I did my part. I hope I did you justice, my man.
I hope I did you justice.
Oh shit, we're good. I promise you that. Thank
All
you
right,
much.
man.
I'll ask you to hang on the line with me just for a moment. I'll wrap this up. To the listeners, treat each other with kindness and respect. Go out there and live your dreams. You never know. You might just have a random phone call in the match with in the middle of the night with a deathmatch icon. You just never know.
That's me.
That's him. That's Madman Pondo. He knows it. We love y'all. Stay tuned. Episode 100 coming up soon. Madman fucking Pondo, folks. Holy shit. What is life? We're out of here.